Shares of Kraft Heinz are trading a little lower today. This is the New York Post reports that Warren Buffett is quietly reshuffling the company's board. So Sozzi, Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway owns almost 27%. Is this like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, or can board changes actually make an impact here?
Well, I think you'll probably see some board changes soon at 3M, but that's a probably different story. But I think that makes a lot of sense what Warren Buffett is reportedly doing. You have to shake something here. When you take almost a $16 billion valuation, it tells you at the core something is wrong. How you're managing the company, how you're thinking about the long term, and certainly with the brands. But I'm sure, Andy, does Warren Buffett do stuff like this normally?
Machinations behind the scene, yes. And it's hard to discern. But remember, Tracy Britt Kuhl, a Berkshire executive and someone who's pretty close to Buffett, is on the board of this company. And so she will probably be exerting the opinions and directives of the Oracle on the board that way. I mean, remember what she did at Benjamin Moore, and she really stirred that pot of pain a lot there, didn't she?
Yeah, well, it's also an indictment against the 3G business model. And I remember talking to a lot of consumer packaged goods execs last year, and they remain focused on their strategies to grow their brands, actually put advertising behind it. And you can tell what's happening at Kraft Heinz. That lack of investment has severely hurt the company, perhaps permanently.
And I think they don't have. I think they don't have enough sort of forward-facing SKUs. In other words, it's a very staid product line. And you look at some of the packaged good companies that have done a little bit better, like a Pepsi, for instance, and you know, they're really trying, right? They invest in healthier foods, healthier looking foods, and actually healthier foods and drinks. I mean, Oscar Mayer and Kraft Heinz.
Next up, Coca-Cola with its coffee-infused Coke with no calories and no sugar. That's a winner.
I'm sure. Is that healthy?
They're already sending us a box.
It has a lot of caffeine,
Myles,
right? No sugar, but caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine.
I find this story interesting also in the wake of Buffett's extensive interview with the FT that was published today, where this subject came up, and the way that the FT kind of framed it is that when they broached the subject of, well, did 3G screw up here, Buffett was like, well, let's not say they, let's say we, because he views them as a partner here. And I think that their suggestion was that Warren Buffett might be looking at the Kraft portfolio and saying, I might have just bought a lemon. I don't really know if there's anything we can do. These brands just might stink.
And one more point about Buffett when these mistakes happen. And there are interviews and people hit him and hit him, and he's always very supportive. And then you wait for it. Like, what about Wells Fargo? What really happened there? Who was really involved in the decision to remove Tim Sloan? Right? But remember, I stand by them, Boop! A couple months later, he just...
You're not going to hear it till it hits you.
And you may never hear it, because I asked him the other day, for instance, I said, so did you really make an offer to buy the New York Times at that low point in 2008, 2009? And he said, well, that new book by Joel Abramson said that. And I said, well, so can you confirm that? He goes, I'm never going to say.
Right.
I'm never going to say.
And when that Wells Fargo news happened, that was, I think, within 24, 48 hours of Buffett having publicly said he supports Tim Sloan.
Right.
But to
That
your
was
point,
a little curious, yeah.
But maybe he knew what he was doing, right? I mean, what else are you going to say in that interview?
Right.
You can't go out and say no comment, right?
Something's going to happen in 48 hours.
Yeah,
No, you're not going to say that.
But the footsteps seem to be getting louder on this. I mean, he already said, what, in February or January that he thought he had overpaid for it.
I'm sure.
And now these stories coming
I'm
out.
sure in 8 days there'll be plenty of questions to Warren Buffett about what's happening at Kraft Heinz.
That's correct.
A lot. We're going to be there,
Yes.
heading to Omaha. Berkshire Hathaway annual meeting. Yahoo Finance is the exclusive streaming partner of that.